Hello everybody, Fiasco back again today to share with you 4 seriously underrated things to do at Epcot, the park I'm at today. Before we get started, if you enjoy our content, please consider supporting our sponsor, Dreams Unlimited Travel, when booking your next vacation. But yep, we're here today in Epcot, and I'm going to share with you 4 of my favorite things to do here at Epcot that I feel are seriously underrated. Make sure you follow along in the comments below and say if you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if there's any things I missed that you think are underrated. And let's get started. So for number 1 on our list, we're going to head over to the Seas, but not to the ride, more specifically the Sea Base. So if you didn't know, this is actually an aquarium in Epcot, and it is one of the largest aquariums in the entire world, hosting 5.7 million gallons of water and home to over 4,000 creatures, over 60 of them being unique species. This is so cool. And as something like, if it was just a standalone property, like if the Sea Base was just an attraction in itself outside of the parks, it would still be a must-visit place. This aquarium is awesome. You can see dolphins, sea turtles, sharks. We stopped in today and we were lucky enough to see divers, which was really cool. But this is all just in one of the largest aquariums in the world is just included in your Epcot Park Day, which is it's just awesome. And I consider it a must-do attraction here at the park. You should totally go your way to do it. I know a lot of people skip this, just kind of completely glaze over it and just hit all the rides here before they get to the World Showcase. But I urge you, once you get off Nemo and Friends, explore the aquarium, or even if you don't even want to do Nemo and Friends, definitely stop in this aquarium. It's super relaxing, super peaceful. They got manatees here. They got manatees that have a really cool story to them too. Little Joe and Big Lou, I think their names are. They're both rescues. They lost their pack after getting hurt by fishing boats. You can read all their story there in the Sea Base, but you got to come check it out if you've never checked it out before. I obviously have checked it out before, and I still make a point most days I'm in Epcot to take a stroll through and say hi to Little Lou and Big Joe. I might get the little and big mixed up. There's Lou and Joe, and I forget which one's big and which one's little, but one of the two. But come in, say hi to the manatees, and tell them that Fiasco sent you as we move on to our second seriously underrated spot. So we talked about the seas, and now we're going to talk about the land. This time specifically a ride in the land, living with the land. Easily one of my top 5 attractions in all of Walt Disney World. I would refer to this as the people mover of Epcot, being that it's just a relaxing, beautifully nostalgic ride that I feel like is an absolute must-do, but again, has not gotten the love it deserved in the past, but is starting to be recognized by the masses as an absolute must-do classic. Sounds a lot similar to the people mover, right? And you know, the posted wait time today for Living with the Land was 20 minutes. So whenever I see something like that, I'm like, oh wow, people are really starting to get behind this attraction and appreciate it. Although I wish the wait time was always 5, but we hopped in line, and actually, surprisingly, the posted wait time of 20 minutes was actually only 3 minutes. So really off on that time there. But me and Haley always like to ask if we can wait for the front row, because it is so worth it, especially with those new socially distanced separators up. The front row is far superior to all the other rows, and really not a lot of people know to ask for it. So maybe I'm kind of spoiling a little hidden known secret, but they'll let you just wait for the very next boat and catch the front row, and that is totally worth it. But yeah, Living with the Land, even though it's getting more appreciation year after year, it is still seriously underrated. I mean, what attraction could you ride through on a relaxing boat and visibly see the food that's being served to you at the various restaurants at Walt Disney World? It's just too cool. They also, during normal times, have the behind the scenes tour, which I still haven't partaked in, and I'm kind of kicking myself in the butt now for not getting on it, but you best bet as soon as they're doing those tours again, I'm going to be hopping on it. I'm going to be doing that behind the scenes tour. I'm pretty sure it's only like $40 to get up and walk around the greenhouse. But yeah, that's why Living with the Land is my number 2 pick, and we'll move right along to number 3 now. For our next stop, we have to head into the World Showcase and hit up a pavilion. Specifically, we're going to talk about the shopping at a pavilion. Now, we've talked at length about people's favorite pavilions in the World Showcase, and the same pavilions pop up a lot, and rightfully so. You know, Japan, France, they're awesome pavilions, but I really never hear anybody mention the shopping at the UK pavilion. Now, if you didn't know, there are 6 different unique stores here in the UK pavilion. Currently, 3 of them are closed because you kind of have an Emporium style shopping experience on the right, and then an Emporium style shopping experience on the left, where all the stores are open to each other and blend together. And right now, just that left side is open and the right side is closed. But when they're all open, you have like a full day of shopping if you really wanted to here at all the stores. There's a toy store, a tea store, a clothing and perfume store. Like, there's so much shopping going on here. I think it's probably one of the best pavilions for shopping. Now, in my opinion, I still think Japan is the best. The store in Japan is just amazing. It's kind of like four separate broken up sections, I guess you'd say. It's all one store, but it's broken up into sections that are very niche. But that one store, I feel like, is just, it counts for so much. But the thing is, the Japan Pavilion is not underrated. Everybody loves the Japan Pavilion. Same with the marketplace in Morocco. There's a lot of shopping in the marketplace in Morocco, but everybody recognizes that. But I don't hear it enough about people acknowledging how good the stores are and the merchandise is here in the UK Pavilion. So that's why it is my number 3 for seriously underrated spots. And seriously, once all these stores open back up, spend like an hour just going through them all. You can look up your family's name and make a family crest and really cool stuff like that. That's just like an experience in itself that like is a reason to come to this pavilion alone. So check it out, and let's move on to our 4th and final seriously underrated place or thing to do. So it is really just a hop, skip, and a jump to reach our next seriously underrated thing to do. And in my opinion, it is the most underrated thing in all of Epcot, and probably one of the most underrated things in all of Walt Disney World, and that is Impressions de France. This is a show that's been around for a very, very long time, but only recently has been somewhat replaced by the Beauty and the Beast sing-along. You know, I must say, it truly pains me to see so many families willing to wait in line for the Beauty and the Beast sing-along, because it only means one thing in the back of my head, and I'm afraid that Impressions is not long for this world, that it might go away soon. If you don't know, Impressions used to occupy every time slot for the theater in the France Pavilion, and now it only occupies the last hour and a half to 2 hours of show times that the park is open. So if the park closes at 9, the Impression shows won't start until 7:30. Tonight Epcot is open till 11, so Impressions is starting at 8:30. So not till after most of the kids would have went home to the hotels for bed and got all tuckered out, well, they start Impressions. And it is a shame, because it is a beautiful show. It is the most relaxing attraction here at Epcot, and most of the people that I talk to that have been here year after year, they've gone to Epcot for years, I always ask them, have you done Impressions de France? And I kid you not, most people have said no. And these are people that have been going to Disney their whole life, and they've always skipped Impressions de France. And I do know people who have done it and think it's boring. I don't think so. I think it is amazing. It's beautiful, and it really puts you in a zenned out, relaxed mood. It is the perfect break from a hot day, the perfect break from crowds and noise. I just love this show so much, and it definitely does not get the appreciation it deserves. So please, if you want to do me a favor, on your next trip, please make it a point to stay at Epcot late and go see Impressions. Give that show the love it deserves, because the theater is unfortunately empty a lot. It's good in the sense that I get to enjoy an empty theater, but not good in the sense that I'm afraid that one of my absolute favorite things could possibly go away to a sing-along show. So let's give Impressions the appreciation. It's seriously one of my favorite things at Walt Disney World and one of my favorite things in Epcot. And if I had to pick one thing that is seriously underrated, it would have to be Impressions de France. But that is going to do it for my 4 picks for seriously underrated things to do at Epcot. Leave your comments down below for your picks of things that you think are underrated, things that you don't think get the love it deserves, and we'll get a discussion going on. But thanks so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.